The Future Napier Committee. I have apologies from Councillor Simpson. Do I have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor Mawson, seconded by Councillor Crown. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. Call for any conflicts of interest. There being none, we have no public forum today. Any announcements by Her Worship?
Sorry, no. Other than, are we able to adjust the temperature in the room?
No, they can't.
Can't turn it on.
I am being advised by governance they have followed up and there is a fault with the temperature in the room and the technicians have been called. So apologies, winter woolies required to be in the room. If anyone from the public is thinking of joining us later, please bring an extra jacket. No announcements by myself, but I will do a call for if there are any minor matters. There being none. Rachel, any announcements by yourself? Checking in with Louise. No announcements by management. Could I ask for a mover and a seconder of our minutes from Thursday the 1st of August be taken as a true and correct record? Moved by Councillor Gregg, seconded by Councillor Taylor. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. All right, I'd like to welcome Bill Roberts up to introduce our first paper, which is our Business Association update. Kia ora, Bill.
Tēnā koutou kua tāmai nei ki tēnei hui. Ki te kōrero i ngā kaupapa whakahirahira. Hei mihi miharo ki te kahika Mea Kirsten, tēnā koe. Hei mihi no ki te kahika tuarua, Annette, tēnā koe. Hei mihi no ki ngā kai kunahera katoa, tēnā koutou katoa. Kia ora.
Kia ora.
So this paper today is two things. It's first, it's a refreshment of the agreement we have with Napier City Business, the CBD Business Association. And it's also a follow-up and update of the work we did looking at the other business associations within Napier, so that we are balancing our need and our vision to enable places and spaces where people want to be, with the responsibility to our ratepayers and across the region completely. So looking at the first point, which is the new agreement, we went through a process internally of making sure that the procurement team were over the wording, and then we carried out a process of engagement with Napier City Business to make sure that they were happy with the wording and what was changed about it. Essentially, the new things were that the reporting lines were clarified, that I was put down as a point of contact for the relationship, and that we were sort of more in touch with what they were doing with ratepayer money that we were giving in addition to the targeted levy. So it's a nice piece of work. It's quite straightforward, but happy to answer any questions on that. And then the second piece of work was this enabling the places and spaces. We need to match the energy that the local business associations are putting into their work, and we've seen some good things happening in both Taradale and Ahuriri, and with aware that Taradale is a growth area and that exciting things are happening there, and we need to be partnering with the Taradale Business Association to make sure that, again, that we are maximising the areas and the district. And also we're very pleased to see that Ahuriri Business Association have appointed a member of staff after a gap of some time, and we're very pleased to be able to support them in the work that they're carrying out with that as well. So that, in a nutshell, is the two parts, but I'm very happy to answer any questions.
Great. Thank you, Bill. I'll start with questions. I've got Councillor Gregg and then Councillor Price.
Yes, through Madam Chair, thank you. My question is about the transitioning to the Smarty Grants platform. Will the business associations have any extra training or information about that to get familiarised with the system?
Through the chair, yes, absolutely, because I need training first as well. So it'll be a process.
Thank you, Bill. Councillor Price.
Don't know if this is the right venue for it, but for the for Ahuriri to grow, is parking a concern for you? That's Noble John, a good one, eh?
Maybe I can help with that one, Councillor Price. We are meeting as part of the Future Focus forums. We are meeting with the Ahuriri Business Association, not next week, but the week after. One of the topics that they want to talk to us is about parking, so I'll be interested to hear about the concerns they have. We have been doing some work between our parking team and the roading team in terms of being able to put time-limited parks outside, like the Four Square and other businesses, to ensure that the workers, if you like, are not just parking in front of those businesses and their customers can't come. So there's been a little bit of road marking work done in that regard. But I do understand that there might be, as more businesses are going into that area, there might be some issues. And there might be some private interest in parking into that area as well, providing parking, through a private provider. So it's something that I'm interested in hearing from the Business Association and hearing from anyone else about what the issues are, and we're more than happy to try and work out what we can do.
So just further to that, probably one of the biggest things is, hospitality is growing over there, and parking for customers is, numbers of car parks is probably
Yeah.
a big question.
And I agree. And we are mindful in all of our little CBD areas that we think about those broader sort of activation and how we want that little city centre to be. And so thinking about how do we introduce parking in a way that keeps it compact and vibrant and allows for people to walk around and bike around and ensure that our businesses are attracting customers. So yeah, those principles of parking that we've talked about before also apply, and I'll be talking to the Business Association about how parking generally as a tool to activate vibrancy can be used. Yeah.
Thank you.
Just following up on that question, Rachel, do you envision a report back or a closed loop on that discussion with elected members? I see a few members interested in that answer. How would you best report
On
that
parking?
back?
Yeah.
In Ahuriri in particular.
Yes, so we've got the parking workshop coming up. I think it's scheduled for next week or the week after. I haven't got my calendar in front of me. And so Murray Thompson and Luke Johnson will be coming to talk about parking strategy more generally in there. And I should be able to have at least an update for you about the discussion with the Business Association there. And then if there are any actions that come out of that, then I can update you beyond that. Yeah.
Great, thank you. I think that's good for councillors to see that closed loop of that discussion. Thank you. Mayor Wise and then Councillor Crystal.
Thank you, through the chair. Acknowledging that Napier City Business Inc is our largest and longest standing business association, and understandably there has been an agreement in place for quite some time, is there an intention to actually put an agreement in place for the Taradale and Ahuriri business associations as they are now, continuing to grow, and I anticipate that they'll continue to grow into the future?
Yeah, I think that in terms of best practice, that's what we want to aim for. Of course, it takes two to tango, and we have to work with the partners at their pace.
Follow-up question through the chair. So have we initiated that conversation with those two associations?
No, not as yet.
Is there an intention to do that in the foreseeable future?
Yes, there is.
I think that would be wonderful if we are. As these associations grow, I think it is very important that we make a commitment to enabling them and supporting them in their endeavours and aspirations. And I think having an agreement in place will absolutely set the parameters of that for both parties, and just assist to ensure that we have a really effective working relationship going forward. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Wise. Councillor Crystal.
I had the same question.
Thank you. I think out of the discussion, we've probably got a couple of actions there just to note. First is obviously around the Ahuriri parking discussion to be reported back at our parking workshop. And second, Bill, if you're able to report back on planned progress on the Ahuriri Business Association conversations you say are in the works as well. I think that would be beneficial.
Taradale and
Oh, Taradale, sorry.
And
Had Ahuriri on my mind. The Taradale Business Association.
And both businesses.
Both business associations. Thank you very much. I'll just do a sweep around, see if there's any further discussion or questions on the officer's recommendations before I look for a mover. If there is none, I'm happy to take a mover. Moved by Councillor Crown, seconded by Councillor Crystal. Councillor Crown.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Bill, for your work on this as well. I'm the member on the Napier City Business Inc. board. It is a relationship, and having those guidelines around how we relate to each other is actually really helpful. They're a very hard-working group, and as I'm sure is the Ahuriri Business Association and the Taradale Business Association, they bring a lot of energy and expertise for community's benefit. So these are really important organisations, so it's good to have out there publicly that our intention is to sort of firm up how we connect and how we work with those other business associations too. So yeah, this is a real positive thing, I think, and it's great to have it come back to us here at this table, so kia ora.
Kia ora. Thank you. Councillor Crystal.
I totally agree with what Councillor Crown has just said, and just in regards to Taradale, I was at their AGM. They actually had to turn down committee members because they had too many trying to get on their committee. So it is a very progressive, growing association. So really look forward to getting some sort of more formal agreement with those guys.
Thank you. Would any other members like to speak to the motion? No, well, thank you very much, Bill. I think, it's great to see you working in this space, and obviously vibrant city centres are so important to underpinning our local community economy. So, thank you for your work in that space. If there's no further speakers, I will put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. Thank you very much, Bill.
Thank you.
All right, I would like to welcome Nick McCool, who is introducing our second and final paper, the Resource Consent Activity Update. Kia ora, Nick.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So this update covers the period from 17 July to 30 August. Since the July update, there has been a 34% increase in the number of applications lodged compared to the same period 12 months prior. So 43 applications lodged compared to 32 last year. There continues to be strong demand for pre-application meetings, and the application type remains consistent with approximately 55% land use and 45% subdivision. In the last 6 weeks, all resource consents were issued within statutory timeframes. The table below outlines the current resource consenting activities in Napier and the status for these for information purposes. And this is not an entire list of all the applications currently being assessed, but they are deemed significant or noteworthy. So the first is number 65 Munro Street, and it's to construct a multi-unit residential development within the fringe commercial zone. I will discuss that one in further detail later on. 100 Churchill Drive in Taradale is to subdivide 2 hectare property, which is zoned rural residential, into 6 lots. This is a non-complying activity. And number 18 Avenue Road, Green Meadows, to subdivide a 400 square metre site, which is zoned main residential, into 4 lots with no on-site parking, and that's restricted discretionary. And those two are also discussed further on below. Number 46 Ericsson Road, that has been granted. Pelorus Avenue is still under assessment, as with 149 Awatoto Road, 530 State Highway 51 and 1/83 Kennedy Road. Number 1B Cree Street is currently with me for a decision. 68 Franklin Road, Bayview, the submission period is now closed, and we received approximately 26 submissions. And with those, we have 2 that are in support, 2 which would classify as neutral, and then the rest are in opposition. And last one on the list there is number 162 Waghorn Street in Ahuriri. The resource consent applications are currently on hold as the building was fire damaged and has subsequently been removed. We are in the process of sending a please explain letter to gather some further information. Okay, 65 Munro Street in Napier. The site is located on the corner of Munro and Raffles Street opposite the Pack and Save. Mana Ahuriri Holdings Limited Partnership proposed to construct 69 terraced residential units or townhouses and 2 apartment buildings comprising 41 apartments, which will constitute a multi-unit development within the fringe commercial zone. The proposal also includes a concurrent freehold subdivision to create titles for each of the terraced units, including amalgamated car parking and each of the apartment buildings and common spaces. The proposed development will have an impervious area of 9,000 square metres, being approximately 71% of the site area. As the development cannot fully comply with all operative district plan conditions, the overall proposal falls to be assessed as a restricted discretionary activity. The proposal is also subject to a number of rules in the proposed district plan that are beyond challenge and submissions. The proposal is a discretionary activity pursuant to Rule Tree R4, as the terrace houses adjoining Munro Street will be partially within the drip line of the notable trees, being the plane trees that are along Munro Street, which are now protected under the proposed district plan. And I've included a few pictures of the site plan and the architectural impression, which I believe was also included in a recent Stuff article. Number 100 Churchill Drive. The site is located on the end of Churchill Drive on the flanks of the hill. The applicant seeks to subdivide the 2-hectare site into 6 lots as depicted in the attached scheme plan. Lot 1 will contain the existing dwelling and will be approximately 3,000 square metres, and lots 2 to 6 will range from 2,600 square metres to 3,700 in size and will all be vacant lots. The proposed lots will not achieve the 5,000 minimum site size requirement or the minimum average lot size of 1 hectare that are required for that zone, and hence the proposal requires consideration as a non-complying activity. There are also other infringements in regards to the accessway width and the building platforms and the associated earthworks. Okay, last one, a little bit smaller. This site is located on the corner of Avenue Road and Ford Street in Green Meadows. The applicant proposes to remove the existing buildings and erect 4 1.5 bedroom dwellings with a floor area of approximately 53 square metres each, as shown in the site plan. I call it 1.5 bedrooms as it's 1 bedroom and a study. The density will be greater than the 1 dwellings per 350 square metres, and the open space for each dwelling will not be capable of containing a 6-metre circle. As a result, the proposal requires restricted discretionary activity, resource consent. And that is all I have for you today, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you very much, Nick. It's a really interesting paper for our information to see what is coming across your desk for assessment. So I will open it up if there's any questions around the consenting process. And just a reminder that we are not able to comment or ask staff to comment on the merits of any applications that are under assessment. This is for our information. Councillor Greig.
Yes, through the chair. Just a question of clarification on 65 Munro Street. On page 29, the table says it's a discretionary activity, and then on page 30, it says restricted discretionary activity. Just wondering which one it is.
Yes. Overall, it's a discretionary activity. It's a restricted discretionary activity under our operative district plan, but under our proposed district plan, it's a discretionary activity, and we take the higher activity status for the overall assessment.
Great question. Thank you, Councillor Greig. Councillor Bowe.
Just a general question through you, Madam Chair. Have there been any Napier developments that have applied for fast tracking under the fast tracking legislation that you're aware of?
None that I'm aware of.
I might direct that question to Rachel if you're in a position to answer.
Oh, just simply that the fast tracking consent applications or those that have been approved list hasn't been released yet. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Just do a sweep. If there's no further questions, I'm happy to ask for a mover for the officer's recommendations to receive the report. Moved by Councillor Crystal, seconded by Councillor Taylor. Councillor Crystal.
Just again, interesting to see what's coming in. A lot of activity going on in our rohi.
Kia ora. Thank you, Councillor Crystal. Yeah, thank you very much for the report, Nick. If there's no further speakers, I will put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. Thank you, Nick. That
Thank
brings
you.
us to the end of our Future Napier Committee meeting. I will close and pass back over in 2 minutes.
We'll go straight away.
Straight into it?
I'll just reconvene the Sustainable Napier meeting and now ask to move into committee. And do I have a mover? Chad and Greg. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried. We'll have a 2-minute break now.